Congratulations! You have just made a great investment in improving the comfort of your home. Honeywell's whole house humidifier is designed to improve humidity levels, reduce static electricity, and create a better environment for your home furnishings, woodwork, and valuables. In the next few minutes, we'll show you how easy it is to install your Honeywell whole house humidifier. This video includes installation instructions for the HE360 model. Before you get started, you'll need to make sure you have all the tools and accessories needed for the installation. Tin snip, screwdriver, Phillips and standard, adjustable or open-end wrench, drill, punch or awl, 3/4 inch drill bit, level, permanent marker, pliers, wire cutter stripper. Once everything is in place, the installation should take about 1 hour. Also, check to make sure you have everything included in the package. Reference your installation guide for a complete list of parts included in the package. Before we begin installing, it's a good idea to determine the best location for all of the humidifier components. The humidifier should be installed on the warm air supply side of the ductwork adjacent to your furnace. On an updraft furnace, like this one, the warm air supply duct is typically located above the furnace in this area. Make sure you don't install the humidifier in a spot where you could accidentally drill into your air conditioning coil, which is located inside the ductwork. You can tell where the air conditioning coil is by locating these two copper tubes. Mount the humidifier at least 1 inch away from the air conditioning coil. Most importantly, choose a location where there is enough room for the unit and where you'll have easy access for routine maintenance. Do not install the humidifier on the furnace itself. In this video, we'll be installing the humidifier on an updraft style furnace. If you have a different style of furnace, refer to the written instructions for help on where to install your humidifier. You'll also need to confirm the location of your water supply. You can use hot or cold water, hard or soft water. Just make sure the feed water tubing that's provided is long enough to connect the water supply with the humidifier's solenoid valve. Also, make sure there is access to a floor drain. Choose a location for the air pressure switch near either the cold or warm air duct. The Humidistat can be installed on the cold air duct or on a wall in the living space of your home. Make sure there is access to a 120-volt outlet. You'll also need to make sure the power cord will reach from your humidifier to the outlet. Remember, the thermostat wire that comes in your installation kit is 20 feet long and needs to reach from the humidifier solenoid to the air pressure switch to the humidistat. The order of these components is not important. Now that you know where you're going to install your humidifier, it's time to get started. First, you must turn off the power to the air handling system at the circuit breaker in order to prevent injury during the installation process. Draw a level line on the ductwork at the bottom of the location you've chosen for the humidifier. Tape the template on the ductwork and trace around it. Remove the template and carefully cut the rectangular opening, using the lines you've drawn as a guide. You can use pliers to flatten the cut edges if needed. Remove the cover on your humidifier and the pad so that the housing can be placed in the opening first. When removing the pad assembly, gently detach the water feed tube from the pad frame by pulling the end of the tube. Add the securing clip as shown, but don't put it on all the way quite yet. Locate the plastic tabs, then position the frame on the upper edge of the opening. Push in the securing clips until they are completely seated. Drill the holes and use the sheet metal screws provided to secure the housing in place at the top and bottom of the opening. Note that pressure may need to be applied for the screws to get through the sheet metal. Reinstall the humidifier pad in the humidifier housing. Be sure to reconnect the water feed tube at the top of the pad frame and position along the right inside edge of the housing so the tube isn't pinched or kinked. Hinge the cover in place and secure with the thumb screw located at the bottom of the cover. Now it's time to connect the water to the plumbing for your humidifier. Start by shutting off the water as a precautionary measure. Use the self-piercing saddle valve to tap into the water supply line at the location selected. It is recommended that you mount the saddle valve with the handle pointing toward the ceiling if you're mounting on a horizontal pipe. But if you're mounting the saddle valve on a vertical pipe, make sure the water nozzle points upward to prevent debris from clogging the solenoid inline filter. Secure the saddle valve to pipe as shown with the rubber gasket. Turn the handle on the top of the saddle valve clockwise until the needle pierces the water supply line. Leave the needle in this position until the humidifier is fully installed to prevent leaking. To make this connection to the saddle valve, prepare the tubing by sliding the brass compression nut over the tubing, placing the plastic compression ring over the tubing, and inserting the brass insert into the tubing with the wider portion facing outward. Use the 1/4 inch tubing and connect the saddle valve to the inlet side of the solenoid valve on your humidifier. Next, insert the tubing into the saddle valve fitting and tighten. Be careful not to over-tighten the compression nut. Using the remaining connection fittings, repeat the procedure at the other end of the tubing. Insert the plastic supply tubing into the fitting at the bottom of the humidifier. Apply modest pressure to ensure a tight fit. Now that we've hooked up the supply water, we'll connect the drain tubing. Slide the drain clamp over the tubing and push the tubing over the drain fitting on the humidifier. Hand tighten the clamp around the tubing to secure it to the humidifier drain. The clamp is tightened by compressing the two sides together so that one side fits into the rigid groove on the other side. Make sure the tubing is pointing downward all the way to the drain. You might need to cut the tubing so the tube terminates at the drain. If you need to, use duct tape to secure the tubing and make sure there is limited movement. Included in the box is a switch that senses air movement in the duct, indicating it is okay to introduce humidity if the humidistat control asks for it. This is referred to as the pressure switch. To begin, mount the switch vertically within 10 feet of the humidifier and both the supply and return ductwork, with the pressure connectors facing downward, as shown here. Use the provided screws to secure the switch to the duct. The best method for detecting air movement is to tap into both the supply and return ductwork, as we will demonstrate here. Refer to the manual for alternative methods to fit your application. Drill a 3/4 inch diameter hole in the appropriate duct or ducts based upon where you installed the humidifier. Make sure the hole is within 10 feet of the switch so that the tubing can reach the pressure switch. Once the hole is cut, insert the rubber gasket. Then, insert the clear plastic elbow into the rubber gasket. Connect the tubing to the tubing fitting elbow. Connect the other end of the tubing to the applicable pressure connection on the switch. The tube that runs to the return duct needs to be attached to the gray port. You may cut the tubing to fit the connection length between the elbow fitting and the switch. It is also recommended to secure the hose to existing structures to avoid accidental disconnection. The tube that runs to the supply duct needs to be attached to the black port. Once the switch and tubing are connected and secured, move on to the humidistat installation. We will cover wiring of the humidifier, the switch, and the humidistat after each item is secured and in place. The humidistat will help control the humidity level in your home. Remember, the humidistat can be installed near your furnace or in a living space. The installation is essentially the same in either location. For this demonstration, we'll install it on the ductwork. You'll want to mount the humidistat to the ductwork at least 8 inches upstream from the ductwork from the humidifier, so that it can correctly sense the relative humidity in the home. Place the template on the location you've chosen. Once you level the template, cut along the dotted line of the template with metal shears or tin snips. Next, remove the base bracket from the humidistat by inserting a flathead screwdriver into the case removal slot and separating the two pieces. Place the base bracket in the hole with the arrow pointing up and drill the mounting holes in the ductwork. Remove the humidistat base and place the foam gasket on the base. Then, reinsert the base into the duct with the arrow pointing up. Now, secure the base onto the duct with the 1-inch mounting screws that came with the humidistat. Now we're going to wire the unit. You can wire the components in any order you choose. Begin by measuring the wire from the humidifier to the humidistat and from the humidistat to the pressure switch. Cut the lengths of thermostat wire you'll need to reach between the components and strip the ends. Be sure to leave plenty of wire at both ends to make the connections. At the humidifier, connect the conductors to the 2 yellow humidifier wires in any order. Note that the red wires from the humidifier are not used. At the pressure switch, connect the conductors to the C and NO pressure switch terminals with the provided terminal adapters. Note that the NC terminal is not used. At the humidistat, connect the red conductors coming from the humidifier and the pressure switch to the 2 black humidistat terminals. Use a wire nut to connect together the 2 white conductors. Tuck in the wires and snap the humidistat onto the base. Connect the wiring harness from the humidifier cover to the humidifier base. Plug the power cord into a 120-volt outlet. Your written instructions include additional information and drawings, which can further help explain this wiring procedure. Before you begin to use your new Honeywell Whole House Humidifier, go through the checklist provided in your installation instructions. Once you've completed the checklist, turn on both the power supply and the water supply. Ensure the saddle valve is fully opened by turning the handle counterclockwise until there is resistance. Next, turn on your humidistat by turning the knob all the way to the right. Also, turn on the heat by setting your thermostat 10 degrees higher than your current room temperature. Note that your furnace blower must be on to activate the humidifier. Make sure the water is flowing out of the drain hose and check for any leaks. Finally, reset your thermostat and your humidistat to a comfortable setting and begin enjoying your new, more comfortable environment. Congratulations! You can now enjoy the added comfort humidified air can bring to your home. Okay, let's review what you just did to install your new humidifier. After selecting the proper location for your humidifier and related accessories, the templates show you how to cut the openings for them in the ductwork. Once the humidifier housing is in place, you simply tap into the water supply, connect it to your humidifier, and run the drain tube to the floor drain. You then connect the pressure switch and tubing to the ductwork. Templates again help you install the switch and the humidistat. Finally, wire the system together using the diagrams provided and begin enjoying the comforts of humidified air in your home. Regular maintenance will help prolong the life of your humidifier and make your home more comfortable. The humidifier pad should be replaced every 3 to 6 months of operation. For most homes, this will mean annual replacement. To do this, disconnect the power as a precautionary measure and shut off the water supply to your humidifier by turning the saddle valve clockwise. This will prevent leaks during this process. Remove the humidifier cover by unplugging the connector and loosening the thumb screw. Grasp the cover near the bottom and pull it toward you. Then, remove the humidifier pad assembly by grasping the top of the tray and pulling it toward you. Remove the tray from the frame. Gently pinch the end of the water nozzle and lift it off the tray. Slide the humidifier pad out of the frame. Carefully remove any mineral deposits from the tray and the frame. Also, make sure the drain hole isn't blocked. Next, check the drain hose. If you see any mineral deposits, flush the drain hose clean and reattach it to the housing. Slide the new humidifier pad into the frame and snap the water nozzle back onto the tray. Reattach the tray to the frame, then replace the pad assembly and humidifier cover. At the end of your heating and humidification season, clean the humidifier again, just as we've shown you. Then, Shut it off until you need it again. If you have further questions about the installation and maintenance of your Honeywell whole house humidifier, refer to the written instructions. You may also visit our website at yourhome.honeywell.com.